It was a cloudy afternoon, and the cafe was half full. People sipped overpriced coffee and clicked away on laptops. A man walked in, dressed in a simple t-shirt and worn jeans, holding a book under his arm. He took a seat in the corner and waited patiently. No one came. After 10 minutes, he approached the counter. The barista barely looked up. "We're busy, sit and wait." He nodded, returned to his seat. A few moments later, the cafe owner walked in, spotted him, and frowned. "Hey, this is—" "Not a shelter," he barked. "We serve real customers here. Out." The man stood up calmly, picked up his book and left. The owner laughed. "Some people just don't belong here." But in less than a month, that cafe would shut down for good. Outside, the man walked quietly to the next block and sat on a bench. He opened his book and began to read as if nothing had happened. Back inside the cafe, a few people had noticed the scene. "That guy looked familiar," one whispered. "Yeah. Wasn't that Keanu Reeves?" someone else muttered. The owner rolled his eyes. "Please, if he was famous, he wouldn't be sitting here dressed like that." But just 2 hours later, a local food blogger uploaded a short clip titled, "Cafe Owner Kicks Out Keanu Reeves." It began to gain traction, and that was only the beginning. By evening, the video had crossed 50,000 views. By midnight, it was over 1 million. People flooded the cafe's Google reviews. 1-star ratings poured in. Disrespectful staff. Kicked out a legend. Lost all respect. The cafe's Instagram was bombarded with comments. "Justice for Keanu" began trending locally. The owner tried to delete comments, but it only made things worse. The next morning, a local newspaper ran the headline, "Local Cafe Disrespects Beloved Actor Keanu Reeves." Customers stopped coming. Regulars cancelled orders. But Keanu? He hadn't said a word. Yet the storm was only beginning to build. The cafe owner finally made a video statement. "I didn't recognize him. It was a misunderstanding. We serve all guests equally." But the internet wasn't buying it. Big influencers picked up the story. Celebrities retweeted it. Even Keanu's fans from overseas left negative reviews on the cafe's page. Meanwhile, Keanu was spotted again, this time in a tiny diner across the city. He paid for 10 meals and left without saying a word. A journalist tried to reach him. For comment, he simply replied, "I wasn't there to be seen, just to read." But his silence was louder than the cafe owner's apologies, and the consequences were getting heavier. By week 2, the cafe's sales had dropped by 80%. Suppliers began pulling out. Employees quit out of embarrassment. The owner looked around his once busy shop and saw empty chairs and bitter silence. He tried everything, discounts, apology posts, even charity events. Nothing worked. One evening, he walked past the same bench. Keanu was there again, reading. He stopped. I'm sorry," he said. Keanu looked up, gently closed his book and said, "Not everyone learns the first time, but everyone has the chance." The owner sat on the bench, unsure of what to say, but Keanu just nodded, and that moment said everything. The cafe closed within a month. A "for lease" sign hung on the window. The reviews had vanished. The name was forgotten. But a new shop opened in that space, a small community library cafe run by volunteers. Guess who funded it anonymously? A man who once walked in with a book, just looking for coffee and peace. The people who now came in sat for hours, reading and sipping simple tea. Sometimes a quiet man in a cap would visit and sit by the window. He never said much. But the regulars always knew who he was. One day a child approached him in that new cafe and said, "Are you the man from the story?" Keanu smiled. "I guess I am." The child handed him a drawing. It showed a cafe, a man with a book, and a red sign. "Welcome to all." Keanu pinned it on the wall before leaving, and just like that, he disappeared again. If this story reminded you of the value of kindness, then subscribe to the channel. And press the bell icon. More inspiring stories are on their way, and sometimes the quietest ones say the most.